When someone tries to place an obstacle in your path, thinking it will stop your rise, they overlook one crucial truth. People born to lead don't stumble over setbacks. They turn them into foundations. That's the quiet law of balance in this world. Every attempt to hold you back becomes the very force that moves you forward. Life doesn't settle scores with chaos. It does it with precision. The scales always correct themselves. And those who secretly waited for your downfall, they're about to face something far more unsettling. The silence of your success. Let's make one thing clear. The universe doesn't overlook anything. The energy people send out always finds its way back. Only now, it returns wrapped in lessons they never asked for. And you were never designed to break. You were designed to be shaped. Pressure didn't destroy you, it refined you. Betrayal didn't end you, it strengthened your core. The very people who doubted you, laughed at you, or tried to dim your light, unknowingly contributed to your evolution. And here's the irony, they don't just observe you anymore. They fixate on you. They watch your every move, your progress, your glow. Not because you sought revenge, but because you kept rising without them. Your peace unsettles their chaos. Your silence speaks louder than their criticism ever could. You've become something they can't control, a disruption in their system. Because those who are chosen aren't just survivors, they are game changers. They walk through fire and come out untouched. And once the universe aligns with your growth, nothing formed against you can truly stand. There's a new energy surrounding you now, and it's visible. That quiet confidence, untouchable. That calm presence, powerful. This isn't just a mindset shift. This is a rebirth. And the people who once benefited from your constant need to please, they're about to feel what happens when you finally choose yourself. Before going deeper into this transformation that's reshaping your entire reality, take a moment to support the words of truth. Like this video, subscribe, and comment 11 to align with this new frequency. If you've been feeling a shift within lately, don't ignore it. That's not your imagination. That's your elevation. Let's begin. Number 1, stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. There comes a point where your soul simply refuses to perform anymore, where you stop over-explaining yourself to people who were never truly listening, only searching for something to criticize. There was a time when you dimmed your light just to make others comfortable. You softened your voice, adjusted your words, carefully timed everything, like walking on fragile ground just to avoid conflict. But that version of you is gone. Some people rely on your explanations not because they're confused, but because it gives them control. They pretend not to understand, when in reality your clarity threatens their position. So they play unaware, just to keep you stuck. And for a while you went along with it. You tried to be gentle when you were meant to be strong. You kept justifying your intentions, your growth, your decisions, as if your life required their approval. But not anymore. Now you've disconnected from that cycle. Let them misunderstand you. Let them twist your silence into arrogance or your boundaries into betrayal. That narrative belongs to them, not to you. Your energy is no longer something people can access freely. You've stopped explaining because you've realized something powerful. Some people were never confused. They were just comfortable with a version of you that didn't challenge them. You used to shrink yourself so others wouldn't feel threatened. But you can't keep fitting into a version of yourself you've already outgrown. And honestly, how many nights were wasted replaying conversations in your mind, wondering if you said the wrong thing to someone who never valued you in the first place? Too many. Now your silence has purpose. You no longer argue with projections. You don't try to convince people who have already chosen not to see you. Because the truth is, people hear what aligns with their mindset. You could speak with complete clarity, and they would still twist it to match their narrative. So now you let them sit with their assumptions. You don't explain your growth. You don't break down your transformation. You don't offer insight to those who only intend to tear you down. If they don't understand by now, they never will. The right people feel your truth without explanation. The wrong ones only want you weakened. And here's the reality, they never misunderstood you. They simply missed the version of you they could control. But that version no longer exists. Now you speak one language, truth. And if that feels too loud for some people, then they were never meant to hear you. You're done dimming your light just to be accepted. Number 2, stop calling self-sacrifice selflessness. That's how they keep you drained. There was a time when you gave everything, your time, your energy, your attention, believing that made you a good person. You constantly put others first, stretching yourself thin in the name of love and loyalty. But let's be honest, that wasn't selflessness. That was self-neglect. People labeled you as giving, but what they really benefited from was your lack of boundaries. They kept taking and you kept allowing it, not because you were weak, but because you were taught that your needs didn't matter. And the harsh truth? Most of them never even noticed. All the sacrifices, the effort, the emotional investment, you gave it freely hoping maybe it would be recognized one day. But instead, it left you feeling empty. That's how the cycle works. You're conditioned to believe your value depends on how much you give, until one day you stop, and suddenly, everything changes. The moment you begin choosing yourself, you're labeled as selfish. But let's break that illusion. They didn't love you, they loved how convenient you were. They loved the version of you that never said no. The moment you stopped overextending yourself for their comfort, they felt it, and now they react. But you were never the problem. You were simply too available, too understanding, too willing to place yourself last for people who would never do the same for you. You thought that was normal. That exhaustion was just part of love. But now you see clearly that wasn't love. That was manipulation. Real people who care about you don't feel threatened when you set boundaries. In fact, they respect them. The ones who get upset? Those are the ones who were benefiting from your lack of them. So let them talk. Let them say you've changed. Let them call you selfish. If protecting your peace costs you certain relationships, then that's a price worth paying. Because the most powerful decision you've made was to stop abandoning yourself for others. And now that you've started choosing yourself, there's no going back. Your worth is not up for debate. Your peace is not negotiable. And the truth is, they can no longer afford access to the version of you they once took advantage of. And the most interesting part? You're only just beginning when obstacles are thrown in your way like they're meant to stop you. There's something people forget. Royalty doesn't stumble over barriers, it turns them into kingdoms. That's the quiet irony of life's balance. Every scheme meant to slow you down ends up accelerating your rise. Life settles scores with accuracy, not drama. In the end, everything aligns exactly as it should. And those who secretly wished for your downfall, they'll be left speechless, watching your success unfold in silence. This world doesn't miss a thing. The energy people send out always circles back, just not always in the way they expect. And you were never designed to shatter. You were shaped under pressure. Just like diamonds are formed deep beneath the surface, betrayal didn't break you. It strengthened your core. The same people who doubted you, laughed at you, or tried to dim your light were unknowingly fueling your transformation. And here's something almost funny. Your critics don't just observe you, they revolve around you. They study your moves, your growth, your glow like it's a full-time job. Not because you're chasing them, but because you kept rising without them. Your peace unsettles their chaos. Your silence speaks louder than anything they ever said about you. You're not just someone who survived, you're someone who disrupts. Fire didn't destroy you, it refined you. And now that everything is aligning in your favor, no lie, no betrayal, no opposition can hold its ground. There's a different energy around you now, and it's obvious. That calm confidence, that untouchable presence. That's not just growth, that's transformation. And the people who once benefited from your need to please, they're about to feel what it means when you finally choose yourself. Before we go deeper, take a moment. Support the words of truth by liking this video, subscribing, and dropping 11 in the comments to lock into this new frequency. If you've been feeling a shift within, you're not imagining it. That's your elevation. Now let's continue. Number 1. Stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. There comes a point where you simply stop performing. You realize you've been over-explaining yourself to people who were never truly listening. They were just waiting for something to criticize. You used to dim your intensity, turning your fire into something small just to keep others comfortable. You adjusted your tone, your words, even your timing, like walking carefully through pain just to avoid conflict. But that version of you is done. Some people rely on your constant explanations because it keeps them in control. They act confused not because you're unclear, but because your clarity threatens their influence. They pretend not to understand just to keep you stuck in a loop. And for a while, you played along. You softened yourself when you were meant to stand firm. You defended your intentions like your life needed approval. But not anymore. Now you've made a decision, let them misunderstand you. Let them misinterpret your silence as pride, your boundaries as rejection, your growth as distance. That's their narrative, not your responsibility. Your energy is no longer something you hand out freely. You've stopped explaining because you've realized something powerful. Some people were never confused. They were just comfortable with the version of you that never challenged them. You used to translate your truth into smaller pieces so others wouldn't feel threatened. But you can't shrink yourself to fit spaces you've outgrown. And honestly, think about it. How many nights did you overthink one sentence, worrying about how someone perceived you, even when they never respected you? How many times did you give up your power just to keep a temporary peace? Too many. Now your silence is intentional. You don't argue with projections. You don't try to convince people who have already decided not to see you clearly. People will always filter your truth through their own insecurities anyway. So now, you let them sit with their confusion. You don't explain your growth. You don't offer access to people who only ever wanted control. Because if they haven't understood you by now, they never will. The real ones don't need explanations, they feel your authenticity. The wrong ones only wanted you weakened. And here's the truth. They didn't misunderstand you, they just preferred the version of you they could manage. But that version no longer exists. Now you speak one language, truth. And if that feels too loud for them, then they were never meant to hear you in the first place. Let them stay where they are. You're not dimming your light just to be accepted anymore. Number 2, stop pretending to be endlessly selfless. It's the fastest way to lose yourself. You used to give everything, your time, your energy, your presence, thinking that made you a better person. You put others first constantly, bending yourself into exhaustion, believing that was love. But let's be honest, that wasn't selflessness. That was self-abandonment. People called you generous, but what they really benefited from was your lack of boundaries. They kept taking and you kept giving, not because you were weak, but because you were taught your needs didn't matter as much. And the truth? Most of them didn't even notice your sacrifices. No applause, no recognition, just exhaustion. You stayed stuck in this cycle, thinking one day it would be appreciated. But instead, you were left drained, wondering why it never felt like enough. That's how people keep you attached, by making your worth depend on how much you give. Until one day you stopped, and suddenly, everything flipped. Now you're the selfish one. But here's the reality. They didn't love you for who you are. They loved how convenient you were. The moment you stopped overgiving, they became uncomfortable. Because they were used to access without limits. But let's be clear, you were never the problem. You were just too available, too understanding, too willing to sacrifice yourself for people who wouldn't do the same. You thought that was normal, that being drained was just part of caring. But now you see it clearly, it wasn't love. It was manipulation. Real people who care about you don't punish you for taking care of yourself. The ones who get upset about your boundaries are the ones who benefited from you having none. So let them talk. Let them say you've changed. If protecting your peace costs you certain people, then that's a price worth paying. Because the most powerful shift you made was choosing yourself. And now that you've started, there's no going back. You've reached a turning point. The version of you that used to bend, compromise, and accept crumbs of affection just to avoid conflict, that version is gone. Now there's clarity. Manipulation dressed up as care no longer works on you. You stand firm, grounded, and fully aligned with who you are, no apologies, no second guessing. And the moment that shift happened, everything around you started to change. People began to drift away. But let's be honest, that's not because you did anything wrong. It's because they've lost their grip on you. They can't mold you anymore. They can't twist your kindness into something they can use. And that loss of control, it unsettles them. So they label you selfish, different, too much. But what they're really saying is you're no longer available for manipulation. They can't benefit from your open heart the way they used to. They can't keep you confined in a version of yourself that served them. You've raised your standards, and now they're struggling to meet a level they never respected before. Because now you understand something powerful. Attachment is not love. Real love doesn't require you to shrink. It doesn't pressure, control, or demand. It doesn't come with hidden conditions or emotional traps. Real love is rooted in respect. And now that you've seen the difference, there's no going back. You're no longer settling for anything that asks you to abandon yourself. Number 11, pay attention to who goes quiet when you win. That's not your circle. For a long time, it looked like you had support. People smiled, nodded, and clapped when you spoke about your dreams. Felt like they were cheering you on. But in reality, they were only comfortable as long as your goals stayed small, manageable, non-threatening. They applauded your potential as long as it didn't outgrow them. But now, you've stepped into something bigger. And suddenly, the energy changes. At first, it's subtle. A delayed response. A forced smile. A congratulations that feels empty, like it's missing something real. Then it becomes obvious. When you rise, they go silent. When you struggle, they show up with advice, concern, and plenty of opinions. That's when it hits, you were never meant to fail. But you were never supposed to surpass them either. They were comfortable when you doubted yourself. When you needed their input, when you looked to them for direction. You were easier to manage back then. But now, you've grown. You move with certainty. You don't ask for permission anymore. You don't wait for validation. And that shift makes them uneasy, because deep down, they never saw you as an equal. They preferred being above you, the one with the answers, the one in control. Now that you've outgrown that dynamic, they don't know where they stand. And that silence? That's your confirmation. Number 12, be cautious with people who say they miss the old you. What they really miss is control. There was a time when you gave endlessly. You were always available, always understanding, always willing to sacrifice your comfort to keep others happy. You said yes when you wanted to say no. You ignored warning signs. You carried burdens that were never yours, just to keep the peace. And people loved that version of you. Not because it was healthy, but because it was convenient. They benefited from your lack of boundaries, from your willingness to overextend, from your habit of fixing everything, even when it cost you everything. But now, things are different. You didn't become cold. You didn't become rude. You didn't lose your heart. You just stopped accepting behavior that disrespects it. You no longer smile through manipulation. You no longer excuse repeated patterns. You no longer carry what doesn't belong to you. And that shift, it shakes people. So when they say, you've changed, what they mean is, I can't control you anymore. When they say, you're acting different, they're really saying, you don't let me take advantage of you like before. And when they say, I miss the old you, what they're admitting is, I miss the version of you that didn't protect yourself. But here's the truth you need to hold on to. Their frustration is proof of your growth. The only people who get upset when you set boundaries are the ones who benefited from you having none. They might try to guilt you. They might call you mean. They might say you've lost your kindness. But you know better now. Kindness is not weakness. Self-respect is not cruelty. Choosing yourself is not selfish, it's necessary. So let them feel uncomfortable. Let them face the consequences of how they treated you, now that you're no longer carrying the weight for them. Because their discomfort, that's not your responsibility. That's their lesson. You're no longer here to be anyone's emotional support system at the cost of your own peace. You're here to grow, to evolve, to live freely and fully without guilt. Yes, some people will fall away. Yes, some will misunderstand you. Yes, some will label you. But their absence isn't a loss. It's a clearing. Because the people who truly value you, the ones who genuinely respect you, will never ask you to shrink just to fit their comfort. Now you've stepped into your truth. You've broken free from the cycle of people pleasing. You've reclaimed the power that was always yours, and there's no returning to who you used to be. You've outgrown that version. Everything is aligning with your evolution now. Your energy is different. Your presence is stronger. Your path is clearer. And the world is about to feel that shift. If this message speaks to you, support the words of truth by liking this video, subscribing, and sharing your journey in the comments. Keep rising, keep evolving, and most importantly, never shrink again.